Hello, my name's John. This is an Astra Militarum Artillery Team, and this is a half-hour hobby. You're watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies. Hello, and welcome back to another half-hour hobby. Today I am going to be building this artillery team. I'm going to just see how much I get done in this video. So, as regular viewers to the channel will know, I have lots of projects on the go. And one of those projects is a Imperial Guard, an Astra Militarum army, which I've been doing for many years and collecting lots of different parts for it. And I thought I'd start this project with this half-hour hobby video where I make one of the component parts for the army. If you haven't seen one of these videos before, I'm basically going to spend half hour, close to 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, just working on some hobby. I'll chat while I'm doing it, maybe discuss ideas, various things. But in this video I want to try and get the carriage all made for this artillery piece. I am aware that you can actually make it so the weapons are interchangeable, which would be really useful, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, if you've never made one of these before, you could make it along with me or watch how I'm doing it to solve any issues that you may have while you make it. But this is a real-time video, so there's no cuts or anything like that. Occasionally, if I have to do it, it's because I've got to let the dog out, phone's rang, or someone's come to the door. But other than that, it is what you see on the camera. Okay. I do have the instructions off camera. I'm just going to put them next to me so I can make sure I'm sticking the right bits together. Okay. So that's gonna... Oh, no, I've got that upside down. There we go. That's gonna slot in there. Let's get my trusty Tamiya glue. I've just as well reorganised my filming setup with my camera. So the camera's still in the same place up here, but I've adjusted where it's mounted from. So it used to be over that way, but it's now over that way. So it gives me a lot more space, he says, knocking it, to move things around. If you'd like to at any point see my setup for my filming, for my hobby, drop it in the comments. I'd be happy to create a little video of what I do, including how I started just using a mobile phone to the little set I've got now. It's nothing overly special. I kind of got it because I enjoy this part of my hobby, videoing it. So it was a natural little evolution. Anyway, okay, so there is that first part done of the carriage. Let's have a look at the next bits. I'm looking for D5, which is that one there. And then D4. And I'm really resisting the urge to say, you sunk my battleship, but I've just said it. Okay. So just generally tidy this up. Anyone who's watched me making things will know that I don't spend too long cleaning up all the plastic bits in the video, but I do go back to it afterwards and tidy up things that you see and that kind of thing. Okay, so that bit goes on there like that. Yeah, I've realised over the last few years of doing my hobby, I rarely work on vehicles or large pieces, and I do have quite a few in the collection that are just sitting there. So that's why I've gone down the option of, actually, let's start making them. So this may go over more than one video, but I'm kind of liking the idea of the half-hour hobby. It gives an exact idea, roughly, what am I talking about? It gives an idea of how long the video is going to be, about half hour, and in the description and the title I try and clearly say exactly what I'm doing, so it gives people an idea. Okay, let's now go for D7 and D9. So originally this kit is a Death Corps of Krieg kit with those troopers. This is going to be something slightly different, which I will reveal in a later video, but it suits the army that I'm planning. So like I said, I will be doing a video on that soon. I might have hinted on it quite some time ago in another video, but I can't quite remember. If you go back and watch all of my videos, you might get an idea of what I'm working on. And that being said, if you're new here, why don't you give me a little subscribe? You might find a video that interests you. Also, you can always suggest videos if you want to see something very specific. I'm quite happy to create content that people are kind of looking for, as the whole process of the video making is part of my hobby. This is going together really quite nicely. I like this kit. It does make me think, for this specific army, having maybe a few of these might suit it quite nicely. But I'm going to have to work out the points value and things like that, so probably will do that in a future video when I talk about the army itself. I do have the army building app from Warhammer that I do quite like to just work out possible armies with it and see what I can make with the things that I own, as I've now been collecting since the 80s. I do have quite a few older models as well that I can use as stand-ins for certain things. Don't know if you can see it. No, it's just off camera. I dripped a bit of glue, so I've got to be careful I don't put any plastic in there. That's quite a nice little gun carriage, that. Okay. So the next part I'm looking for is, I'm going to work with D13 just here. So it's D13, D15, which is this one just here, and D16. Those are duplicates, so that's nice and easy to put together. Tidy up of them. Yeah, if there's any videos or anything that you'd like to see, whether it's about different kinds of making, different alternate hobbies, I tend to mainly stick to Warhammer on this channel, but as with the name of the channel, I'm quite happy to do pretty much any hobby, any model, any war game. So if you've got any suggestions that you think I'd like to try, please drop it in the comments. Okay, so that sits in there like that. Yeah, I do enjoy the escapism of making these videos. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit. There's glue on there. That sticks onto that. Okay, so there is that leg there, and that's going to go onto there. And there is a part D14, which is that part just there. That's going to stick in there like that. Now, do I stick that in and then that becomes non-movable? I think, yeah, I do. Okay. Ah, yeah, there is a little notch on there that stops it moving any further. Perfect. Yeah, if there's any other, say, Warhammer 40,000 race that you'd like to see the models made of, I am quite happy to put other things together. Like I said, I've got lots of bits and pieces in my collection that I do need to make at some point. And for years I was just a habitual collector of kits and never really made them, and now that's what I've decided to do now, is make them. But likewise, I'm going to have to paint them as well, so I need to do quite a few painting videos as well. But they take a little bit longer to sort out. Let's get part 16 and 18 is the other one. The thing I really like about this kit actually is all of, let's get it in focus, the little spades, hammer, adjustable spanner, monkey wrench, extinguisher, all those little things. I like those little details. They're going to be great in the bits box for other projects, or even going on to this project. Depends if it suits the aesthetic, I think, for this army, but we shall see. So where are we coming up to? Nearly halfway through. I think I'll get quite a bit of this done during this video. But if not, we can always do another half-hour hobby, or even just catch up in a shorter video. Now I hope all this has been on screen. I do find that I start paying less and less attention to the camera and more attention to the model that I'm working on. But hey ho, I'm sure the few people who watch this will let me know if I'm not in shot or anything like that. tidy that up quickly, forgot to do that. Okay. It's cool, I like that. There's that carriage so far. So the next part is D10, D11 and D12, which are these plates just here. So that is 12, which is that side. Apologies, there is a fly going around the room. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera. And that was my stomach, if you heard that on the camera. After this, I will be sorting out some food. I haven't quite worked out what I want for my tea yet. Hey, we shall see. The drawback of doing that, well, sorting out my food, means I've got to tidy the kitchen as well, and I'd much rather be doing a hobby. But anyway, okay, so these are just going to stick in to just this. That's nice and easy, these parts. I might watch a movie tonight as well. Not sure which one, as I do enjoy my movies. I do have quite a few of them as well. If I did a video showing you my hobby space, up there I have a whole wall of my DVDs and Blu-rays and some VHS. I do like physical media. It is one of my other hobbies. Okay, let's carry on. We are looking for D20, which is this one. And that's got D21 behind it, which is this one just here. Now I do have some other Imperial Guard that I've got to sort out, which are my Drukian Fen Guard. I'll leave a link in the description actually to anyone who hasn't seen those videos. They are just off camera here. Yeah, here we go. So these are conversions that I was making of Drukian Fen Guard, as I really like the concept behind them. They may, actually they could fit into this army as almost like some auxiliaries. We shall see. I do have an idea I'd like to attempt with them, but that again takes money, so I'll be saving to be able to do that. As I haven't actually, tell a lie, I have bought something new recently, and by the time this video is released, which is only in a few weeks, no, only over a week away. I don't like to have my videos kind of hanging around for ages not being published, so I tend to work a week or most 2 weeks ahead. But I've got my Space Wolves coming. Really looking forward to my Space Wolves. I've been trying to work out an idea for how I'm going to create my Space Wolf army, and I like the idea of converting some old school long fangs and kind of look more at the 3rd edition Space Wolves as inspiration. Not saying that I don't like the new edition, but Space Wolves, since this, oh no, it's not 3rd edition, it's 2nd edition. Since 2nd edition, when their codex came out, that was an eye-opener for me. I loved it. Oh, I need to make sure I have another part. That's D24 and 23. There's 24. I'm talking rather than looking at the instructions, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, drop in the comments what Space Marines you like and what chapters you're working on. Be nice to hear what people are kind of working on nowadays. I do have, as well as my Space Wolves coming up, I do have my Grey Knight conversions, my Death Watch, which someone's asked for me to do a video going through all of my Death Watch, which I will do soon. Some Dark Angels, which I always find funny that I like Dark Angels at the same time as Space Wolves, because they don't really like each other that much if you're into the lore, but I quite like the fact that they kind of have a conflict between each other. Right, how's that? Ooh, how does that bit go on? Is there a gap? It doesn't really make it clear on the instructions, it's just got a massive blob of glue. Does it just sit there like that? I think it just sits there like that, right. Oh yeah, and I've got my 2 custom chapters as well, which I really need to get around to finishing. Unfortunately, that is my hobby problem, is I have too many projects on the go, but hey, that's the way it is. So I think that just sits there like that. It doesn't, there's no image on the instructions of it sitting in place, so I'm presuming it just sits like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there and tack it in place, just in case I find out later that I've done it wrong, and then I can always remove it. But anyway, let's run some glue in there. What time is it? Okay, that's okay. We've still got time in this project. I do quite like the whole concept that I've gone through for the half-hour hobby, because it just gives me a defined amount of time I can sit down, work on something, share it with you guys, and I don't feel like I've got to produce a really long video. Let me know, is half hour too long? Would you prefer shorter ones? I mean, maybe do half-hour hobbies and maybe 15-minute tutorials, something like that maybe, or 10-minute, what 10-minute tutorials? Let me know in the comments if you like the idea of 10-minute tutorials. Well, those are chocks, that's quite cool. Those sit on there. Right, am I going to glue this down onto the base? I am not going to glue this to the base at the moment because I don't know what I want the base to look like. That might be another video, but there is the main chassis at the moment. I'm not going to make any of the people, but I think what I will make is, out of all of the weapons, let's go for a simple one, or relatively simple one. Let's go for the rockets. Okay, so I will make all of these eventually, but let's start with, so I need 57, 56 and 55. 57, 56, 55, there we go. This is where I want to see if it is as easy to change the weapons out as I have seen previously, because it's quite nice to have all the options when making something like this, rather than having to then, if you want to feel different artillery, have to have different chassis and things like that. But likewise, what it might be able to do is look online and just find the chassis. and then be able to put more weapons in. Save me buying a full other kit. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we're gonna have to spend a bit more time cleaning these up later on, but it's alright for now. It's your hobby, so you can spend as much or as little time cleaning them up as you want. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You do what you want in your hobby. If you want an army made up of a sea of grey miniatures, go for it. If you want an army fully painted, you can go for that too. Okay. So this bit is, I think, going to be relatively easy to put together. I'll have to do a little bit of a... Ooh, too much glue there. A touch of glue down there. And then there and there. Then... There. Yeah, I've got to read up on the rules for all of the different artillery pieces you can have on this. But it's nice to have those options. Okay. Right, let's bring that cannon on. And so from what I understand, it's a case of just pushing it in place. There we go. Oh, fantastic. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And there is some rotational movement. And if I want to take it off, let's see how easy it is to come out. Ah, there we go. It's easy when it's on the ground. So that goes in just like that. Okay, well, I like that. I think I'll make the rest of it in another half-hour hobby, but for now we'll just leave it at that. Just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying these half-hour hobbies. Thank you so much to all my new recent subscribers. I hope you're enjoying looking through all of my videos. Thank you for everyone else who's sticking around as well. But for now, all I can say is thank you so much for tuning in. My name's John, and you've been watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies.